Title: My parents stole my paid-off car and gave it to my drunk driving brother. They called me selfish. I gathered evidence, walked into the station, and pressed charges. Start: I knew something was wrong the moment my key fob went silent in the parking lot. No chirp, no headlights, just that hollow click of a dead connection and the cold rush of understanding sliding down my spine. My car wasn't there. The space was empty, clean, unapologetic, like it had never belonged to me at all. That was the moment everything snapped into focus. Not panic, not confusion, just clarity. Because thieves are predictable when they believe you're weak. My parents used to call me their steady one, the quiet kid, the one who paid bills early, who didn't cause trouble, who stepped aside so my brother could figure himself out. I used to take pride in that. Stability, responsibility. I thought it meant they trusted me. Turns out, it meant they trusted I wouldn't fight back. My brother, on the other hand, he was the storm they insisted on sheltering. Drunk driving charges, job firings, rehab stints that lasted shorter than his hangovers. And yet every time they'd look at him with soft eyes and at me with exhausted expectation. Just work with us, they'd say. Be patient. Family sacrifices. Funny how their definition of sacrifice always had my name on it. I discovered the truth the next morning. My mother's voice cracked when I called, which she probably thought made her sound sympathetic. It didn't. We had to do it, she said. Your brother needed a car for work. You weren't using it anyway. A paid-off vehicle I had worked 3 jobs to own. Something I cared for, maintained, insured, protected. You stole it, I said. Don't be dramatic, she replied. And then, the word, sharp enough to slice any remaining attachment I had left. Selfish. The accusation hung in the air between us like a challenge. I didn't scream. I didn't defend myself. I just let the silence wrap around me, cold and instructive. Selfish. Good. Let them believe that. Because selfish people don't warn you before they act. I drove to their house that night, not to confront, but to observe. The porch light was on. Their living room glowed warm. And there, parked crooked in the driveway, sat my car, smelling faintly of stale beer even from a distance. My brother stumbled inside, holding my keys between 2 careless fingers. I didn't approach. I didn't knock. I memorized everything. The next day began my quiet war. I contacted my insurance and retrieved copies of my ownership documents. I accessed my security app and printed timestamps showing the car leaving my complex without authorization. I visited the neighbor whose doorbell camera faced my spot. She handed over footage before I even finished asking. I saw someone drive off in it around midnight, she said. Didn't look like you. Perfect. Then I ordered a GPS tracker. Small, discreet, magnetized. I waited until my parents left for dinner the following night and approached my car like a surgeon entering an operating room. Calm, focused, detached. The tracker clicked into place under the bumper. Step 1, complete. Over the next 10 days, I built a case with the kind of patience they mistook for obedience. Screenshots, maps, dates. My brother's bar visits logged neatly thanks to the GPS. In every photo, my car sat outside places he promised the court he no longer frequented. Every piece fit into a narrative none of them thought I was capable of constructing. They believed silence meant surrender. But silence is where plans are born. The revenge wasn't emotional. It wasn't explosive. It was procedural, a symphony played in paperwork and precision. I walked into the police station on a calm Tuesday morning. No theatrics, no trembling voice. Just a folder in my hand, heavy with proof. The officer flipped through it slowly. His eyebrows lifted once, twice. "This is thorough," he said. "I don't like misunderstandings," I replied. He looked at me then, not with sympathy, but respect. The kind reserved for someone who had already made peace with their decision. "Do you want to press charges?" he asked. I didn't hesitate. Yes, I said, for theft, and for unauthorized operation of a motor vehicle. My voice stayed level. And I wanted on record that he has prior DUI offenses. He nodded, and the sound of his pen against paper felt like justice beginning to breathe. The police retrieved my car from my parents' driveway in broad daylight. My mother cried the way people cry when the consequences arrive wearing uniforms. My father demanded explanations from the officers that they did not owe him. My brother stood slack-jawed, confused, hungover, maybe all three. They called me 32 times that afternoon. I didn't answer a single one. That evening, they showed up at my apartment, pounding like they expected guilt to open the door for them. It didn't. "Open up," my father shouted. "You can't do this to your own family." Funny, they had done it first. When I finally cracked the door, I didn't let them in. I didn't raise my voice. "You stole from me," I said. "You sided with someone who endangers people on the road." I paused. "And you called me selfish." My mother's eyes were red. "We didn't think you'd take it this far." "No," I said, "you didn't think I'd stand up at all." The silence that followed was the first honest moment we'd had in years. "You can talk to my lawyer from now on," I finished, closing the door before they could gather their excuses. Their voices dissolved behind it, like a storm finally moving off the coast. The charges stuck, not enough to ruin lives, but enough to draw boundaries in concrete instead of sand. My brother lost the privilege of pretending he was invincible. My parents lost the illusion that love meant ownership. And me? I drove my returned car through the city that night, windows down, engine steady, the air sharp with relief. I didn't feel guilty. I didn't feel cruel. I felt restored. Some people learn through compassion, others through consequence. My family preferred the latter, so I delivered it, quietly, precisely, and without regret.